There's a certain kind of peace that only exists at home. Not the peace of boredom, not the silence of loneliness, but the quiet that feels like safety. It's the soft hum of the fan, the way evening light falls across the wall, the moment you realize no one expects anything from you. And for some people, that feeling is everything. Society doesn't always understand them. The friend who cancels plans, the one who'd rather wear pajamas than party, the one who feels relief, not regret, when plans fall through. People call them antisocial, boring, withdrawn. But psychology tells a different story. People who love staying at home are often deeply self-aware. They experience what researchers call a low stimulation preference. Their nervous system processes the world intensely. Noise isn't just noise. Crowds aren't just crowds. It's information, emotion, energy, all at once. While some people recharge in chaos, they recharge in calm. Home isn't hiding, it's their charger. Psychologists describe something called optimal arousal theory. Some brains need high stimulation to feel alive. Others function best in quiet environments. Neither is wrong, just wired differently. But it goes deeper than introversion. People who love staying home often have rich inner worlds. They think deeply. They replay conversations. They analyze emotions. They notice the tone in someone's voice that others miss. And because they feel deeply, they also get overwhelmed deeply. Home becomes emotional regulation, predictability, control over lighting, noise, pace. It's not about avoiding life. It's about managing energy. Studies show that people who intentionally spend time alone score higher in creativity, empathy, and emotional intelligence, not because they're superior, but because they reflect. When the noise fades, thoughts grow clearer, ideas form, emotional wounds quietly begin to heal. Think about your biggest realizations. They probably didn't happen at a loud party. They happened in your room, in the shower, during a quiet night when the world finally stopped talking. That's the hidden power of solitude. But here's the paradox. Sometimes people fall in love with home not because they're peaceful, but because they're tired. Tired of pretending, tired of performing, tired of being on all the time. When they close the door, the mask drops. Psychologists call this emotional decompression. Your body finally exhales. Cortisol levels drop. Your guard lowers. That doing nothing feeling, that's healing. Still, society glorifies constant movement, hustle culture, visibility, posting, performing. And so home lovers sometimes carry quiet guilt. They wonder, am I missing out? Am I wasting my youth? Is something wrong with me? But here's the truth. You can be in a crowded room and feel completely alone, or you can sit by yourself at home and feel whole. Solitude is chosen, loneliness is not. And people who love staying home often love differently too. They don't chase dozens of shallow connections. They invest slowly. They trust carefully. But when they love deeply. Because when you're not distracted by noise, you learn how to focus on what truly matters. There's another beautiful trait, self-companionship. Many people cannot sit alone without distraction. Silence makes them uncomfortable. It forces them to hear their own thoughts. But those who embrace staying home, they've learned to sit with themselves, to feel emotions without running, to observe thoughts without fear. That's not weakness, that's emotional maturity. Of course, there's a fine line. If staying home fills you with peace, that's alignment. If leaving feels impossible, that's something else. One is restoration, the other is avoidance. But for most who genuinely love being home, it's not fear, it's preference. They find joy in small rituals, morning coffee, soft lighting, rewatching a comfort show, reading, creating, thinking. They measure happiness in moments, not events. They don't need applause to feel alive. They don't need an audience to feel real. And maybe that's why so many writers, artists, thinkers, and innovators loved solitude. You need space to hear your own voice. When you spend enough time in silence, you learn the difference between your desires and everyone else's expectations. You stop living to impress. You start living to express. So if you're someone who prefers staying home, you are not boring. You are not lazy. You are not broken. You are not missing out. You are wired for depth over noise, peace over performance, meaning over motion. The world needs both kinds of people, the ones who chase and the ones who reflect. And often it's the quiet ones who help the world understand itself. Because once you've found peace in solitude, you stop searching for it in chaos. Home stops being a building. It becomes a state of mind. And when you finally step outside, you don't bring noise, you bring calm. And that is the secret psychology of people who love staying at home.